Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Forest Beyond the Tracks, an Empire Fair podcast.
Honey, let's have an adventure, just you and me. We'll get lost in the forest beyond the trees. Feel the grass between
Hello.
our toes.
So, how was 2020 for everyone? That good?
Completed it.
Completed it?
Yeah, we finished Netflix.
Righto.
We just completed it. Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. I mean, I'm not particularly hugely sociable going out type, so didn't feel particularly different for me. Just like sticking around home and kicking about and doing stuff about home. So it wasn't too bad.
But you've been quite busy, Matt, with Bite the Boxer, little project you did during the summer.
Yeah, that started out as like writing some songs for Empire Fair from home, and building up a huge bank of ideas, and then they turned out to be something completely different and sounded nothing like Empire Fair. So I just carried on with it, and yeah, made a bunch of songs and stuff. That was a lot of fun. Learned a lot about music production along the way, and yeah, threw some music out there.
How well received was it?
Yeah, lots of good feedback. Some of them had, on YouTube they've got like 1,000 listens and streams or hundreds and stuff. So yeah, it's going really well. It's obviously not going to make any money because no one makes money from music these days, which is crazy. But
In it for the love.
in it for the love, and learnt something. But it's
Surely,
all
Matt, you got some gigs booked for next year, though, haven't you? You must be doing a solo gig, solo tour. 2021 is looking prosperous for all of us.
heck no.
Some Matt Park's finest DJ sets. Make sure you got Careless Whisper in the middle there, though.
It's going to be doing a Scandinavian tour with Finland and Norway and Sweden and everywhere.
But no, it's been good fun. A lot of it's quite 80s instrumental synthwave pop stuff. And I was putting a load of stuff out there on Instagram and things. And the other artists I found have been really, really supportive. Everyone out there shares each other's material and shares each other's posts. And that was really strange in a really nice way, because I don't think we've ever really come across that as a indie band. And when I had my little phase of being in a metal band, it certainly didn't happen in that scene, like bands sharing each other's music as much.
If anything, we saw the opposite, didn't we?
Yeah.
Cool. So Neil, how's 2020 been for you? So, obviously the whole lockdown and what have you been doing?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, everyone close to me and myself has been healthy and everything. So you try not to take that for granted. But other than that, it's been okay. I mean, it's the downside of being kind of more London based, where all you guys are kind of closer together. Is it you kind of a little bit more isolated, a little bit further away from everybody? But and when the lockdowns were easing, or when things were starting to go more kind of regular, we were able to still get down and rehearse and everything. So yeah, I mean, there's certainly been some good moments, and there's certainly been some positives. I think a lot of people have kind of taken the view that the whole year was an absolute write-off and everything was awful. But actually, I think, yeah, there's been some really horrible things that have happened. It's been difficult in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people, but plenty of positives as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And what about yourself, Darren?
Me, so I just kind of echo what Neil said, really. So again, the whole year is not being like, a write-off, or, to be honest, it's not, for me, it's not that much different. I'll still manage to go out, see a few friends when we're allowed to, go to the gym when it's not, closed, and obviously work from home, just like the rest of us. I don't really need to go out too much.
Only to get eggs.
It's just apart from going down the old Harmony, which I haven't been to a lot, to be honest. But I had like 2 or 3 since that. Yeah, no, again, since the last podcast, many months ago, literally the same. Still working from home, not really been up to anything worth shouting about, unless making dinner each night is to shout about, but
with the right ingredients.
Yes, with the right ingredients. Well, don't know, ready meal. It's just whacking the microwave, isn't it?
Job done.
Yeah, as and when.
Uber Eats. I'm probably their number one customer right now. Absolutely hammering it.
Oh dear. And how about yourself, Tom?
Yeah, it's been, on the whole, not a bad year for me. I think I consider myself one of the lucky ones. You know, stayed healthy, family stayed healthy, friends stayed healthy. Been working pretty much apart from a 4-month furlough. So professionally, it's been good. It went well, and personally, had some nice stuff happen outside the band. So it's been, yeah, I mean, it'll be a memorable one for everyone, but yeah, for me, it'll be quite a special one, I think.
That's good. So obviously, with the country being open and locked and open and locked, we've found it very, very difficult this year, I think, to get in a room together to record, to write, record, and practice. How do you think that's affected us as a group, trying to get these songs finished? Because some of these ideas have been floating around for nearly 2 years now.
And 3 years, some of them.
3 years. Well, yeah. I mean, one of the new songs, Norwegian Hat, I think it's been floating around since 2017, 18?
November 2017, yeah.
17, yeah. So that isn't going to see the light of day until 2021 if we go ahead and record.
We hope.
So how's everyone found the trying to practice and write together?
Obviously, it's been challenging. We haven't done it as much, but when we are practicing, we are doing the longer sessions. So it's kind of like 3 sessions in one when we've been doing it. Yeah, but that being said, I saw a post yesterday on this the place we normally go to. It says they're still going to be open, apparently.
That's Blue Line.
Yeah, I saw a post yesterday. It said like, oh, in FYI, we're still going to be open.
I mean, yeah, for like rehearsing for me has been pretty much the same to a certain extent, because obviously I kind of had to travel down to join up with you guys for practicing anyway. I actually think, although we've been hindered by it's only really last month, December kind of time, once we started getting back in a room again after we'd done the podcasts during the first lockdown. So it was only really our practice in December that we were due to have that actually got cancelled. So
yeah,
once we were allowed to get back into a room after that first lockdown, I thought we used our time pretty well. And in fact, I thought because we were restricted for a while, it actually maybe helped us and made us more focused and gave us more kind of commitment to spending longer sessions. And, normally we do a rehearsal kind of for 4 hours at a time. And the first hour we spend pissing around, setting everything up. And then we take a lunch break halfway through as well. But I think it's just managed to make us kind of use our time better. And then in the last couple, we've done 6-hour sessions, haven't we? And they've been like really productive. I'm just starting to realise how old we are as well.
Yeah, I think by the last hour, everyone's had enough of loud noises and, Darren's drumming and, loud guitars. And
yeah, and then I still got a 2-hour drive home afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. We commend you, Neil, for your efforts to come down.
Well, just speaking of getting older, I'm getting some grey hairs this year. I mean, that's how old I'm getting. So, it's...
I've got a few, don't worry. Jacqueline's found a few.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said I was cracking me out. She goes, oh, you got grey hair.
Still in your 20s though, Darren. I mean, that's unfortunate.
I know.
Darren, have you got any hairs on your chin yet?
Don't know. Can you see any? No.
Still
it's all right,
smooth
Darren. I'm right there with you, Darren. I'm right there with you.
I will never grow a beard. I've just had to accept it. I'll never grow it, and I'm glad. It's just one hassle I don't need right now.
Yeah, I'm quite glad with that as well. Shave every 5 or 6 days.
I don't think I've had a proper shave in 3 years. This is 3 years worth of bum fluff.
That's what I look like. I'm all right.
Yeah, if that's what I look like, I'm all right. Good one.
I'd just like to say, in terms of momentum, I just found it quite difficult to keep things going at times because let me get my words out. I've got these ideas I keep in my head, and then I try and explain them and get them out to everybody. And then once they're out, I want to just work on them. And once we have a 6-hour session, it's amazing. We get to get our teeth into something really juicy and something that's been incubated in my mind for for years. And some of these new songs, I'm really excited. Hopefully they can see the light of day next year, 2021. So I really think these could be some of our strongest things we've ever written. But it's a bit of a killer. Obviously, it's lockdown where we couldn't do anything for 6 months of the year in a room together, which is I think where we feed off probably most strongly in a creative sense. Really wanting to bring in a live drum kit, bring in the noise and the roar of the guitars or the synths together and the bass, and then hear Neil's vocals live. Because you can do stuff digitally, which is fantastic, the age we live in. But I think for us, in terms of bringing an idea to where it can go, it has to be all of us in a room together. There's only so much you can do with an idea. It was amazing when we got back into a room together. It was thrilling. It was actually, it's just so much fun. But it's the now the unknown again of when we're going to be able to do that, and that momentum sort of grinding down a little bit again.
Yeah, I think you're right in terms of we write a song, or you come in with an idea, or I come in, or whoever, or however it comes together. We sort of spend that session just trying to figure out the structure of it, the choruses, the verses, and intros, outros, and then it takes us then a month later we go back to it. It's like trying to familiar yourself with it, and then trying to just tidy it up to make it a complete song, And I think, like you say, it's all about momentum, and from month to month, it's just been quite difficult. And obviously with lockdown, it's just, we haven't done it for, I don't know, 2-3 months now. September was the last time we got together.
Mm-hmm.
Was it end of October, wasn't it? End of October.
Oh, October, sorry.
Because we were in the room, we were all in the rehearsal room, weren't we? And waiting for the government announcement. That's where they put us back into the 4-week lockdown, kind of November lockdown, and we were sat in the room waiting to find out what was happening.
Yeah.
But I thought talking about momentum, like those 2 or 3 months where we did manage to get those rehearsals in after the first lockdown, we did start to build that momentum again. So it's like you're just starting to get that head of steam, and you're just starting to get into that pattern of not having to spend the first hour remembering what you did last time and just jumping straight back in. So it's frustrating when you have to go back to the start again when we start again next year.
So I think it's fair to say that we have been writing for the last, as Tom says, 3 years now.
Because we all obviously got lives outside the band, and there's just been so many kind of hurdles that keep coming up that have just delayed us getting into a room together for various reasons, which is no one's fault. It's just the way it's happened, and it's just stopped these ideas from perhaps coming together earlier. But I do think sometimes having this extra time has actually made the ideas stronger. So when they just take more time to form and come together. So when we actually get to do, fingers crossed, release, and people get to hear this new music, we've got, I think it'll be worth the wait. It'll be, because I'm really excited about what we've got to share and how much we've changed since the last recording, the last songs, the last new music you've heard. Because, you're only as good as your last thing you've recorded. And it's been 6 years. Well, it seems to be
Bloody
7
hell.
Since we've
6 years.
Bangs was 2014, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of time in between then, and I know you're desperate. We're all desperate for new music, and so anybody who's still hanging on with their fingernails, listening to us, is obviously be interested in as well. To listen to it.
So I think it's probably safe to say we've nearly finished writing them. I think it's just now brushing up and tidying up,
isn't there?
Getting them structurally sound for when we can, and when it's safe to return to recording studio, we can obviously just jump straight in. We know what we're doing. We know how the songs are, and it's sort of time is money in those places. You can burn a hole in your pocket. So,
because we originally wanted to record end of this year, didn't we? Like, we were hoping to get in there for September, October, and obviously that wasn't able to happen.
I think around about March we were looking at studios, and I think we were due to go meet one. I think, and then lockdown hit, and then
because we were rehearsing and working together at the beginning of the year, because we come off the back of doing those like 3 or 4 gigs in the space of 3 weeks at the end of last year, like November time, which the fact that was only just over a year ago seems nuts. That seems like it was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then our last actual rehearsal before we went into lockdown was on my birthday, and we sat and we were talking about, went for a meal, and we were talking about the fact that we need to kind of get the studio booked soon and get an idea of where we were going to record.
Yeah.
And then everything changed.
So hopefully, if we can get back into a practice room soon, or when safe to, we get these songs tidied up, and then we can start recording and hopefully get them out into the big bad world.
Yeah, do it.
That's a long time since we recorded as well, wasn't it? That was always fun. With so many memories of those. Obviously, we covered a whole podcast on the recording process, but that'd be good to go in there again, won't it? Be interested to see how different we all are and how different the experience is.
Yeah,
what,
definitely.
7 years later?
It would definitely be a bit more matured, I think.
Don't know what you're
I'm not sure about that.
God.
Musically, maybe not in ourselves.
Yeah, I think we're
We're mentally about 12 years old.
Yeah, we're a bit older. We know that time is money. You know, we want to get it done, get the best job we can do. So I think we'll be super professional about it all. But he says, you know, we don't know.
And this time around, I think it's going to be, without giving too much away, it's going to be quite special and a bit more ambitious as a project and as a whole. Obviously, with Pangs, there was a bit of a cohesion there, and with Sparks in the Dark, there was a bit of cohesion between the songs. But yeah, this time it's going to be the next level up again.
Yeah, we can only push on. So, with that said, we got a special guest joining us. Another special guest. Here we go.
Father Christmas.
Here he is. It's Chinners.
There he is.
There he is.
We can't hear you yet.
All right.
Come on, David. Oh, we've lost him.
Oh.
He just took one look at us and went, nope.
He's like, oh, wrong room. Wrong room.
Yeah, not today.
You're not Peace, Love and Gloves.
He's called in tech support.
Tech support's here.
The Bluetooth. It's let him down.
Oh, no.
I'm in now. Sorry.
Hey.
I said you called in tech support.
To help me. Sorry.
Definitely.
Yeah. Don't ever go get 50 years old and try and sort technology.
Oh, dear. Here he is, Dave.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing?
Right. Yeah, I'm really good. Yeah, really good. Really good. I had morning of chores. Mrs. C has been keeping me busy cleaning the house today, so it's our house day.
Keeping you in
Good
line,
boy.
is she?
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, we've just been talking about obviously 2020 and how rubbish it's been for us as a band, sort of trying to get in a room together and trying to write. And as somebody who's an avid gig goer, how's it been for you?
A real struggle. I think I was just looking at my gig guide, and I think I've only done about 25 gigs this year, which comparison the year before was 170, I think. So
Only.
yeah, only, you know, it's just it sucks completely. I think we went, myself and Josh went to Winter's End in, I think it was a 3-day festival in Wareham in March, end of February, beginning of March, and we both caught COVID there. So we were both out of action for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. It affected Josh a lot worse than me. He lost loads of weight. I didn't lose my appetite, unfortunately. So I was hoping to. But yeah, so that sort of knocked us back. But I've only really been going to the Lighthouse because I think I feel a lot safer there.
Mm-hmm.
The seats are like, each row is spaced, and you know, you've got nobody sat next to you or anything like that. So yeah, I haven't been going to Bournemouth or anything like that, and you know, I don't know, I just worried. Luke's asthmatic, and I don't want Luke to catch anything. Yeah. You know, Louise has not had it either, so I suppose for them, you're trying to protect them as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really hard. We've done quite a few streaming gigs, and Josh made me watch a Behemoth one, which was a little bit difficult. We stood in. There was a lady that was crucified naked on a cross with a load of hooks and things.
Oh,
And
we were going to do that for our next gig.
yeah, I was wondering. I could just imagine Neil up on a crucifix. Yeah, but no, it was. It was done in a church, which was quite funny as well.
For anybody who doesn't know, Chinery, do you want to just quickly fill us in on Rock Regeneration? Just
Yeah,
give us a quick sort of who you
right,
are, what you are.
We're a website that it was sort of. I used to write for a Dorset Rock Online, and before then, loads of fanzines. Obviously, been into music since I was born. And when the guy from Dorset Rock Online, his wife fell pregnant and said that because he was having a baby, he didn't want to do it anymore. No idea why that is, obviously, but that was his choice. And then I was offered to take over, but I didn't have the means to do it. And then John, he was my best man at my wedding, been a best friend for a long time, offered to do all the back stuff, all the web stuff, and it took off from there. And it's been going, I don't know, 15 years, something like that.
Whoa.
And it's a website that supports bands like yourself.
Yeah.
The local scene, and obviously more national as well. Just literally living out our fantasies, if I'm honest. Being able to go to gigs and being able to give back as well. We used to do a good gig night, but obviously that's on hold at the moment. But yeah, it's just really supporting music and trying to nurture bands. We get often asked for advice and stuff. Certain bands are good at PR and certain bands aren't. And, quite often I'll get sent a single and nothing else. If you send a single to any major reviewer, they're going to just throw it on the floor, ignore it. A certain local band, quite a well-known local band that you guys have played with, have just released a single. I'm frustrated. Nobody knows about it. And Matt's smiling because I think he knows which band they are. And,
Who is it?
I'm not saying it, obviously, but it just, you would think, by now bands will be able to put out a press release and announce it, make a big thing of a single. Yeah. And to be fair, the single's not bad. I've listened to it, and I just wish that bands, organise themselves a little bit more. And you guys have learned over the years that when you release something, it's got to be a big thing. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into the release, and you don't want to put it out with a whimper. You just want to tell everybody,
yeah,
and, let them know that we've got 4 new songs out, or we've got a new single. We want to tell the world, and you've done that with your podcasts, and you guys have learned, and I must say I have listened to every podcast, and sounding a bit of a fanboy, I've learned stuff as well, stuff about you guys I didn't know.
So have we.
Yeah.
I didn't know what half of the songs were called.
Yeah, well, obviously, but no, it
half
was
the chords.
Or half the chords.
Nice.
It's quite an interesting thing, and I wish more bands would do it, because anoraks like me love to know those little bits of information, the B-sides, or which live song you played where, or whatever, so I'd love, I don't know, some of my favourite bands to do them, but
one day.
Yeah,
I mean, in those early days, when you were doing reviews for us, it felt like a big thing for us. We're like, oh my god, yeah! So like this website's come out of their way to come see us and give us like a review, like a quite detailed review of like how the gig went. It was amazing.
We hung on every word of it, didn't we?
Still do.
Yeah.
It's always scary, because obviously, as you get to know people, and you guys, probably the band, one of the bands I know the most, when you're presented with something, it's very hard, to be critical, because I would say the vast majority of his stuff I love as well, and it's hard not to be biased. You know, you guys, you know, you feel like my sons. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I'm very protective of you. You know, if anybody slags you off, Tim Hayward, I would I would come down like a ton of bricks, and like, you know, I remember probably one of the first or second times I saw you, I was a judge in a competition at the Portman Hotel. And again, I didn't know you that well that then, and that was to win a space at the Boscombe Community Fair. And I don't know if I don't know if you remember that fact that there was a family band that turned up, and it was mum, dad, and 2 kids. And before they even started playing, they came up and gave me a load of free stuff like T-shirts and badges, and it was almost like a bribe. But it was awkward. They you know, who would want to be in a band? No disrespect to anybody's parents, but who would want to be a band with their mum and dad? You know, it just didn't really work for them. And I remember seeing you guys, and I don't think you won. I really can't remember. I know it was myself and Bert was running it with Craig.
History suggests we probably didn't win.
No, I don't think you got the space, but I do remember being impressed by your energy. And I think it was Echo. I think you're Echo then, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. That far back.
Yeah, that far back. Yeah, but like, I think that was my first impression. I'm not sure whether that was before you supported Peace, Love, and Gloves or after. I'm not sure. I'd have to look back in the archives, but like, I think that was the only 2 Echo gigs I saw, and yeah, there was something. And then I just remember almost after you'd had that review and you came back champions, and I just remember being you were so rejuvenated. You know, Neil was almost a changed man. You know, he was the front man that I love in a band. You know, a band needs a good front man, and he was jumping out at you, and you know, I remember there's so many memories of Neil. You know, obviously the O2 Academy, and I think one of the Party in the Park gigs where Luke was on my shoulders and Neil was climbing up the speakers, and you know, the front man was you know, you've got to have the band behind them, you know, but the front man is what people remember a lot, and obviously you had everything with the music, and yeah, you know, there's many a time you've actually blown me away, and I love it, you know what I mean? And the other thing I like is the fact you reinvent yourselves all the time, you know, from, you know, your silver clothes, you know, when you all came out, and you have your rope lighting when you did Sparks in the Dark, you know, lots of little attention to detail, I think is probably the word. And yeah.
Very kind. Thank you very much.
We appreciate that. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, we've been loosely alluding to the prospects of new music next year. Obviously, we've got songs, as we were saying earlier in the podcast, we've got songs that are 3 years in the making and stuff that we've been working on in the last 12 months. And we'd hoped that we were going to record September, October this year, but obviously now that's pushed back to next year. So hopefully we're going to be giving you another reinvention next year.
Yeah, well, I've seen you change, you know, obviously with the invention of, you know, you're bringing in the electronics as well, which has certainly been a game changer within some of your sounds, and yeah, really looking forward to it. But like, I think like with anybody, I don't know about you guys, but when you know if it was you, for instance, U2, when U2 bring out a new record, I'm always so nervous because I don't want to hate it, and it's the same, you know, if you guys bring out a song, I'm just going, oh my god, it's shit, really don't like it, you know what I mean? And I don't want that to happen.
Well, I remember, because I obviously exactly like you're talking about, how we've always tried to reinvent, or we've always tried to do something different each time. And I remember you saying to me after we released Pangs, I remember you saying you put that CD on and you started listening, and obviously Press Reset was the first song. And I remember you saying to me, I thought, what is this? What on earth is this? And obviously it's a completely different intro, a completely different opening to anything we did before. And so, yeah, I know exactly the feeling as well, because you do, when you have something that you're close to and you go to put it on, you think, please, 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 just give me, it can be different, but just give me the essential things that I want from this band or this movie or whatever medium it is.
Watching, Star Wars, Mandalorian, any of them, you don't want it to spoil what you've got, and I don't want to go into Mandalorian because I know me and Neil can talk forever about it because, obviously I spotted it, and me and Josh just sat there thinking, oh my God, is this going to ruin everything? But in the end, we sat there crying. Do you know what I mean? Like you would, and it's the same with anything that you're passionate about. If you love something enough, and but I think with sometimes with music, I'm nervous if I like an album or a song straight away. I much prefer a song to grow, because if I jump on a song straight away, you hear it on the radio, you think, oh, that's all right, and then you get bored of it really quickly. And there's not many, I would say, local bands that I pull out on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got all, if you look on, your Spotify, I've got all my go-to stuff, and I've got like various compilations I do. I'm a big compilation person. If I'm doing a long dog walk or a car drive, I'll put a compilation together. And there are certain things that I certain bands I listen to, but there are not many that I pull out because I don't like over listening to music because it can spoil it. But you don't want to wear it out. If you've got something you love so much, you just don't want to wear it out. But yeah, just hopefully your new stuff's good, and I'm sure it will be. But he sits here sweating nervously.
Yeah. No pressure there.
If it's crap, I'll give it to Ross. He'll review it.
Who's Ross going to give it to if it's crap?
I don't know. We've got Vicky. We've got George. George is back in the area now. George Fullerton. He's moved back from Nottingham.
Yeah.
So he lives in the area. So he's going to be a little bit more involved. And John always does the odd review, but normally only Gothic and what's the other? Some dark techno or something he listens to. Industrial. So
it'll be John doing our review then.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Pencil him.
I'm taking us down the 9 Inch Nails route, by the way, guys.
I don't mind. A bit of Rammstein and something like that. To be fair, Josh getting into music has really changed my listening habits. I was early part of the year, I think in January, we went to see Slipknot together, and again, are a band I think I saw once at Reading, from a distance, but they're a band that I'd never looked at before. And there's a lot of bands like Sabaton that, I've gone to see, and Apocalypta, lots of different types of music. And he's having a younger son, he's 16, has educated me to be, I wouldn't say more open-minded, because I've always been very open-minded. Working on the radio show has made me open. I've been to a jazz club to see music, and folk festivals, and anything really that floats my boat. And obviously rock is my mainstay, but obviously there are other things that you get into. So that Josh has opened my mind even more, which is good.
I think I speak for everyone when I say we appreciate everything you do for the local scene. Like I say, those early days, and even now, to get a review from you guys is, be it good or bad, it's just the fact that somebody's taken their time to sort of, because like you say, some of these new songs are 3 years old, and if you've taken the time to listen to them and review them, that we really appreciate that feedback, and everybody's comments and everything, and it's just another platform for us to sort of spread our name out as well. So for that, we thank you very much for Rock Regeneration and yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate all you do for me. You've done a lot. Obviously, you played my 50th, which was great, and you've fulfilled many of Luke's dreams as well. So he appreciates that as well. So it goes both ways. It's what friends do for each other.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Don't when you release your new stuff, don't forget press release. Come on. and the artwork.
Well, yeah.
Right, in typical rock and roll fashion, one thing that we pride ourselves on is our organisational skills.
Yeah, exactly. Chinners, have you got a Sharpie? I need to write a set list.
Yeah, so we've got a plectrum.
Yeah, got a plectrum. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't think you've ever forgotten a bass string. Never.
No.
So,
Never.
I remember a gig at the Anvil. There was a band playing, and I think, I'm trying to think of the name. I can't remember the name, but they broke a string and literally left the bass player and the drummer playing, ran upstairs, outside to the car, grabbed another guitar, and then came down and finished the song. Imagine doing that.
Commitment.
I don't think we have two guitars, guys. Do we?
I
I think-
think in the old fire station or something.
I think I've gone to the toilet in between songs.
Yeah, well, you can at the Anvil, can't you?
What, on stage?
On stage into it. Yeah. I don't know.
I can beat. I've actually gone when comparing. I've actually gone to the toilet with the radio mic in my pocket, left on.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's like a scene out of Naked Gun or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's
It
probably
was.
something like that. But yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, it could have been interesting.
Okay, David, or Dave, or Chinners, however you want to be known as. Thank you very much. All right, cheers, Dave.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Look,
Happy
New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully, definitely.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah.
Take care.
cheers.
Bye. Bye.
All right.
So, yeah, 2020, not quite the year we planned out for, but I think we've done the best out of a bad situation. I'm very happy with these new songs that we've created. Still a lot of work to be done, I think. And hopefully we can get back out there in 2021, do some gigs, release some stuff. And, yeah.
I just would like to draw reference to one of my favourite band-related memories of 2020, which was our acoustic recording of DNA Code.
Yeah.
Which we all recorded independently. And the best part of that was by far Darren sitting on his toilet recording percussion with a toilet brush. Was it a toilet brush and a spoon or something like that?
No, I think it was just a wooden spoon that I put some toilet paper on the end of, sellotaped it to me like a drum beater. Times are tough, all right? I couldn't go out.
Mate, it sounded good, so who cares?
There we go. Good acoustics, that toilet. Good acoustics.
Cool. Well, everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys next year. Thanks to everyone who's listening.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Chinners, and stay gold.
Cheerio.
See you later.
Stay healthy.